Okay. Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and call the State Allocation Board meeting to order. It is 3:03. This meeting is being held in person at the East End Complex Auditorium at 1500 Capitol Avenue in Sacramento, California, 95814, as well as from several additional locations noted in the meeting agenda and notice for anyone who would like to provide public comment in person. This meeting is also being conducted by way of Zoom meeting for members of the public who would like to participate remotely. In order for this meeting to run efficiently for those participating remotely, please note the following guidelines. 1, all attendees will be muted during the meeting. If any member of the public would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand feature on the Zoom meeting interface. I will call your name at the appropriate time, and OPSC staff will request to unmute you. Number 2, if you are calling into the meeting and not using a computer or Zoom application on a mobile device, you will be unable to provide public comment. With that, I also just want to note that the board will not meet in closed session today, and if we could, Ms. Jones, go ahead and please call the roll, noting any members joining us from the remote location.
Certainly. Senator Laird, Senator Perez, Senator Choi.
Here.
And that's a teleconference location. Assemblymember Murasucci, Assemblymember Davies.
Here.
And that's a teleconference location. Assemblymember Quirk-Silva.
Here.
And that's a teleconference location. Juan Morales.
Here.
Jeremy Smith.
Here.
And that's a teleconference location. Ana Lasso.
Here.
Michelle Peralt.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we are going to go ahead now and move on to our minutes from the October 22nd, 2025 meeting. Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The minutes begin on stamped page 1 of today's agenda, and I request the board approve the minutes.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions from board members on the minutes? Seeing none. Are there any public comments on the minutes? Seeing none. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move it.
Moved by Senator Choi. Second by Assemblymember Quirk-Silva. If you could please have a roll call.
Senator Choi.
Aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies.
I'm not sure if I was there.
I don't think she was.
Okay.
Say aye.
Yeah, I was out of state. Okay, so abstain.
Abstain. Davies abstain. Assemblymember Quirk-Silva.
Aye.
Quirk-Silva, aye. Juan Morales.
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith.
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso.
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt.
Aye.
Peralt, aye.
Great.
And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones. We'll go ahead now move to the executive officer statement. Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today's executive officer statement is on stamped pages 16 and 17 of your agendas. I have several updates that I'm pleased to provide the board today. Firstly, the Proposition 2 Charter School Facilities Program application filing round was held from July 3rd and closed on October 30th. This was for $600 million in bond authority provided by Proposition 2 for the program. OPSC received 116 applications from 91 charter schools, requesting a total of approximately $2.78 billion in state funding during that application filing round. A list of all of the applications we received is included as part of the information items in today's agenda. These applications will be processed and prioritized using preference points in existing statute and regulations for the program, and we will present successful applications to the board in early 2026. We also have a priority funding filing round currently underway that opened on November 12th and closes on December 11th. Applicants with unfunded approvals who submit requests during this priority funding filing round may have their unfunded approvals converted to apportionments following an anticipated spring 2026 statewide general obligation bond sale. Additionally, priority funding apportionments approved by the board in October. For those apportionments, districts must complete their fund release authorization by January 20th, 2026. And finally, I'd like to take a moment just for a year in review, with this our last board meeting of the year. As we approach the end of 2025, I want to just take a moment to acknowledge significant accomplishments made this year. So exactly 1 year ago today, this board adopted initial policies for implementation of Proposition 2. That was less than 1 month following voter approval of the proposition. And in part, these initial policies really facilitated the Office of Public School Construction's ability to continuously accept and process applications for funding, while we concurrently have worked to implement the most extensive changes to the school facility program since it was established in 1998. To date this year, the board has provided apportionments totaling approximately $659.1 million for 145 applications statewide. And including projects on today's agenda, the board is poised to approve additional unfunded approvals totaling more than $783.1 million for 135 additional projects. Of those applications processed this year, 21 were critical requests for natural disaster assistance or funding to mitigate imminent health and safety issues and seismic vulnerability at school sites. Additionally, following the devastating Eaton and Palisades fires in January, our office was able to provide outreach to each impacted school district and charter school and continued working with school districts impacted by prior disasters. With all of this, I would like to take the opportunity to express my utmost sincere appreciation to the entire OPSC team that has worked tirelessly this year to make all of this happen. And I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the engagement and participation of many stakeholders, school districts, and others who have helped inform our regulatory development and implementation of Proposition 2 and other topics this year. Next week, we will convene the 19th stakeholder meeting that we've held this year. Informed by a transparent and collaborative process of stakeholder engagement, today's agenda also includes the 5th set of regulatory amendments implementing Proposition 2 provisions. Looking forward to 2026, we will implement new programs, conduct outreach targeted to small school districts, and present applications to the board from the recent Charter School Facility Program filing round and the Career Technical Education Facilities Program filing round that is currently underway. Together, we look forward to continuing to accomplish great things in furtherance of OPSC's mission, which is to enrich the lives of California's school children as stewards of the taxpayers' commitment to education. So thank you all for all of the work and contributions this year. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 28th, 2026, and happy holidays.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Not me.
Oh, yes, Senator Choi, go ahead.
No, not me.
Not you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. I just real quick, I want to just echo, Rebecca, your thanks to your staff, but thanks to you as well. This has been an extraordinary year. You touched on a few of the items, not just Proposition 2, but the LA fires that I know took up and continue to take up staff's time in a way that didn't exist prior to, obviously, that unfortunate event. But I do want to just echo our thanks. Prop 2 was something that was obviously sorely needed for all of our districts across the state. But with that wonderful passage came a lot of work. And your team, as they always do, rose to that and really moved things along quickly so that we can get dollars out the door to districts. So again, just wanted to take a moment also to thank you and again, echo your thanks to your staff and your team. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions?
No, I just
Mr.
want
Morales?
to echo that as well. As someone who knows firsthand all of the work that goes on behind the scenes to implement legislative changes, this year has been significant, and the staff at OPSC have done a tremendous job to help us, have these regulations before us and to help our school districts to be able to access the new funding. So thank you, Rebecca, Michael, the team. Outstanding job. Thank you.
Let me put this back on with that. Are there any public comments on the executive officer statement? Okay, seeing none, this is not an action item, so we'll go ahead and move on to the consent agenda. And this is the consent agenda. Does anybody on the board need to pull anything off the consent agenda? Okay. And then, Ms. Kirk, is there anything you need to present for the consent agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would only note that the annual unused sites program item is included as part of today's consent agenda, beginning on stamped page 174. And the total approximate unused site payments statewide for the 2024-25 fiscal year is approximately $8.6 million included in that item.
Great.
And would request that the board approve the consent agenda. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Comments or questions from the board on the consent agenda? Seeing, no, okay, seeing none. Are there any public comments on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to
Motion.
approve.
Davies?
Motion by Director Lasso, seconded by
Second.
Assemblymember Davies. If we could please have a roll call.
Senator Choi?
Yeah, aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies?
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva? Okay, abstain? Quirk,
Oh, she's on mute.
oh, she's on, okay.
Hey, sorry.
Is that an aye?
Is that an aye?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
aye,
Quirk Silva,
aye.
aye. Thank you. Juan Morales?
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith?
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso?
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt?
Aye.
Peralt, aye. And that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we continue, I'd like to propose if we could maybe take up the action items that require board approval before we proceed with the financial reports, which I know is next in the agenda. But I'd like to suggest we move the financial reports to combine it with our reports discussion and information items later in the agenda that don't require a vote. Is there any objection from the board on doing that? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead then and proceed next to our action items. And the first item is our Charter School Facilities Program awarding a successor charter. Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item begins on stamped page 221 of the agenda and requests that the board approve a successor charter school applicant for the Charter School Facilities Program funded project formerly known as the Camino Nuevo Charter High School in Los Angeles. When a charter school ceases using a facility funded by the Charter School Facilities Program, statute gives first priority to a qualifying successor charter school to occupy that facility on equal terms as the prior occupant. With board approval of this item, the Los Angeles Academy of Arts and Enterprise would occupy the school formerly known as Camino Nuevo Charter High School and assume repayment of the remaining loan and execute appropriate paperwork to occupy the facility on equal terms to the previous charter school. The California School Finance Authority found the successor charter, the prospective successor charter, financially sound in September, and the Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education approved the prospective successor charter for the facility in November. The staff recommendations on this item are shown on stamped page 222. We recommend that the board approve the Los Angeles Academy of Arts and Enterprise as the successor charter school for this facility, that the board require the successor charter to assume repayment of the remaining loan payments starting 1 year after occupancy, that the board require the successor charter to execute a facility use agreement with the Los Angeles Unified School District and charter school agreements with the Office of Public School Construction, the California School Finance Authority, and the district where applicable. And finally, that the board rescind the previous apportionment under the Camino Nuevo Charter High School and transfer that apportionment to the Los Angeles Academy of Arts and Enterprise as shown in attachments B and C. I'm pleased to address any questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions from the board on this action item? Okay. Seeing none, are there any public comments on this action item? No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve this action item? Motion by Senator Choi. Is there a second?
Second, Davies.
Second by Assemblymember Davies. If we could please have a roll call.
Senator Choi?
Aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies?
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva?
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales?
Aye.
Morellis, aye. Jeremy Smith?
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso?
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt?
Aye.
Peralt, aye, and that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will go ahead now and move on to our next action item, which is proposed emergency regulatory amendments for the school facility program. Ms. Kirk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item begins on stamped page 228 and is to present proposed emergency regulations to implement 2 new supplemental grants authorized by Proposition 2. Specifically, the Energy Efficiency Supplemental Grant available for qualifying new construction and modernization applications submitted on or after October 31st, 2024, and the Career Technical Education Supplemental Grant, which is available for qualifying modernization applications submitted on or after October 31st, 2024. The proposed regulations before the board today were previously discussed at 6 stakeholder meetings held earlier this year to inform regulatory development. And this item is the 5th set of proposed regulatory amendments to implement Proposition 2 provisions that we've presented to the board this year. The energy efficiency proposed regulations were developed in collaboration with the Division of the State Architect and propose to use a newly developed scoring system based on California Collaborative for High Performance Schools, or California CHIPS criteria. The Career Technical Education Supplemental Grant would provide up to a 5% increase to the modernization grant, or 60% of OPSC-approved costs for the career technical education components in a qualifying modernization project. These supplemental grants would also be available to qualifying charter school facilities program applications. Staff's recommendations on this item are shown on page 236, stamped in the agenda. We recommend that the board adopt the proposed amendments to the school facility program regulations as shown on attachment B, that the board adopt the proposed amendments to the application for funding as shown on attachment C, that the board adopt the proposed amendments to the application for charter school preliminary apportionment as shown on attachment D, and finally, for the board to authorize us to file the proposed regulatory amendments with the Office of Administrative Law on an emergency basis and make the regulations permanent. I'm pleased to address any questions.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none. Any public comments on this item? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Moved by Senator Choi, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second by Director Lasso. If we could please have a roll call, Secretary.
Senator Choi?
Aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies?
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva?
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morellis?
Aye.
Morellis, aye. Jeremy Smith?
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso?
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt?
Aye.
Peralt, aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead now move on to our next action item, which are proposed regulatory amendments for the school facility program, California Preschool Transitional Kindergarten and Full Day Kindergarten Facilities Grant Program, and school sites, and the non-use payments program. I'll turn it over to Mr. Watanabe.
Thank you. I'm on page 388 of the agenda. This is to present the board with proposed regulatory amendments to require all documents submitted to programs administered by the board can be completed in OPSC Online beginning January 1 of 2027. OPSC Online is a web-based application portal created by OPSC 7 years ago with ongoing development since then. We went live with all of our programs and processes in 2020. This includes both the school facility program, the full-day kindergarten program, and our unused sites program. These regulations, which you'll see in attachments B through F, is recommendations to everywhere that you're required to submit something to OPSC for a board administrator program, that it would be done in OPSC Online. Between now and January 2027, OPSC is committed to continuing ongoing workshops and technical support to school districts to get them used to the system. They have been using it since implementation at the beginning of the program. This would also include the new small school district program later next year and lead and water program as those get developed as well. We did hold 2 stakeholder meetings for this in July and October of this year. Largely feedback was related to future enhancements that OPSC can consider including into the system, and OPSC has already committed to our stakeholders that will on an ongoing basis continue all that feedback and we're actively working with developers now. You'll see our recommendations on page 394 to approve the proposed amendments on a non-emergency basis on attachments B through F, and I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, are there any public comments on this item? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Moved by Assemblymember Davies, is there a second?
Second?
Second by
Second.
Mr. Morales. If we could please have a roll call.
Senator Choi?
Aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies?
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva?
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales?
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith?
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso?
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt?
Aye.
Peralt, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you so much. That brings us to our next, I think, and final action item, proposed regulatory amendments for the school facility program, and I'll turn it back to Mr. Watanabe. I'm going to get it right one of these days.
No
sir.
problem. Thank you. We're on stamp page 532 of the agenda. This item is to present the board with clarifying language changes related to language in our last regs for case-by-case basis when determining whether to approve new construction eligibility adjustments for schools impacted by a natural disaster. Back in August, the board approved emergency regulations for the new natural disaster assistance grants, along with an associated form. Those regs were approved by OL on October 20th of 2025. OPSC is working on the permanent regulatory package for this, and we found a need to clarify what we mean by case-by-case when the board is considering these eligibility adjustments. You'll see on page 534 our proposed language to strike out case-by-case basis and add one sentence for school districts, what we would consider in that information. And that includes whether relevant factors included but not limited to funding from insurance, government assistance, and other sources, enrollment patterns in the school districts, site conditions such as soil, school site consolidations, and all other information submitted on the Form SAB 195, which is the Natural Disaster Assistance Funding application. We are recommending these board approve these regulations on an emergency basis. We would combine this sentence with the previously approved emergency package and make them all permanent together as one package. And with that, be happy to answer questions.
Thank you so much. Any comments or questions on this item from the board? Seeing none, are there any public comments? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Senator Choi, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Mr. Morales, if we could please have a roll call.
Certainly. Senator Choi?
Aye.
Choi, aye. Assemblymember Davies?
Aye.
Davies, aye. Assemblymember Quirk Silva?
Aye.
Quirk Silva, aye. Juan Morales?
Aye.
Morales, aye. Jeremy Smith?
Aye.
Smith, aye. Ana Lasso?
Aye.
Lasso, aye. Michelle Peralt?
Aye.
Peralt, aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead now and proceed with our financial reports, and I'm going to go ahead and combine it, if it's okay, with our reports, discussion, and information items. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Kirk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The financial reports begin on stamped page 203 of today's agenda, and the reports, discussion, and information items begin on stamped page 600 of today's agenda. I would just note that beginning on stamped page 600, we do have the final report on the use of surplus site proceeds included in today's agenda. That report is pursuant to provisions of a budget trailer bill that was chaptered in June 2020 and requires us to provide a final report to the board and legislative committees by January 1st, 2026, that identifies school districts that used temporary authority to take funds from the proceeds of surplus site sales or lease and deposit them on a one-time basis in the general fund of the school district for one-time purposes. The report also includes the amount of the proceeds, the school districts that used this temporary authority, and the purposes for which they were used. I'm pleased to address any questions on the report or the other items in these two sections of the agenda. And I also would like to note that we have included the tentative 2026 meeting calendar for the State Allocation Board as part of this section as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Are there any comments or questions from the board on either the financial reports or the reports, discussion, and information items?
No.
Okay, seeing none, are there any public comments on either of these items? Okay, seeing none, neither of these are an action item, so we will go ahead and, let's see, I think that we are now moving on, and that concludes our business. So we will go ahead and adjourn at 3:28. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.